Hello and welcome back to Informs What's Your Story series. I'm Tracy Cahall, Senior Membership Manager at Informs, and today I'm joined by our guest Carlos Cetina. He's a Senior Pre-Sales Consultant at FICO. He's also been an Informs member for now over 10 years and a representative on the Informs Roundtable. Carlos, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us.
Thanks for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Good. Well, I'm always curious to know about our members' career origin stories. So I'm curious, when you were a kid, did you always love math and want it to be part of your career?
So I actually love multiple things. I was just really good at math. So I grew up in Belize. It's a small country in Central America. And, math careers weren't really talked about other than just being a math teacher. So I really didn't consider it much, but I was always good at it. Then I got the opportunity, I got a scholarship to do my undergrad in Mexico. And I wasn't sure what to choose. My entire life I've been somewhat indecisive. And I kind of just go with the flow. So don't ask me for career advice. In the end, my mom said, just do something you like. And I liked computers, I liked math. And then I said, okay, I'll do that and figure out what kind of job I get afterwards. So here I am.
Good advice from mom.
Yeah, mom's always right.
Mom's always right.
Yeah.
So you earned a bachelor's degree in computational and applied math, and then you ended up going for a master's and PhD in industrial engineering.
Correct.
Yeah. How did you decide that that was the right direction for you?
Yeah, so this is actually a lot of, again, going with the flow, kind of all happenstance. So in my last year of my undergrad, I took my first operations research course. So I had suffered through 3 years of pure math. And then on the last year, we got this course. And I fell in love with it. But I was at the end of the program and I wanted to learn more. And so they had offered this master's in industrial engineering, and it was focused in optimization and analytics. Okay. And so I decided to apply. I got a scholarship again. I managed to do my master's in industrial engineering. And once I did the master's, I really enjoyed the topics. I really enjoyed that you could, build a story around, mathematics that has business impact. You could really see it applied. I ended up working after the master's for a while for a consulting company doing similar stuff. And then I said, I want to contribute to the science. So I applied for a PhD. I got into the PhD program and started working on large-scale optimization.
Wow. You must like school to be in for so long.
I do. I am a perpetual student, to be honest. I like learning. I like thinking. And I go with the flow. So, yeah. Lifelong
learner. I love that.
Yeah.
So you first joined Informs, I think I said over 10 years ago now, and you were a student at that time. What was it that motivated you to join?
So the Informs International Conference was in Montreal in 2015, and I had just finished up enough material to have something to present. My supervisor, or one of my supervisors at the time, suggested I present at the conference. And at that time, and I think it's still the case, it's cheaper to register as a member than it is to register without being a member.
That's right.
So I registered, I went to the conference, presented my paper, and then was just wowed by the variety of topics that people were presenting. They were all related, but they were all different at the same time, so in different domains. And I'm a lifelong learner. I enjoyed being amongst that community. And I also found out about Informs' sections like the Computing Society, the Optimization, the Data Science Society. And so I essentially had a way to access a lot of new stuff that I was interested in. And since then, I've been an Informed member, happily participating in the conferences, contributing so I helped organize the student chapter at my university. So yeah, it's just been a joy to be a part of the society since then.
That's awesome. I always tell new members, you really got to get in with the communities. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up because it really is, I think, a way that people meet the right people here and help make it, feel like their actual home. Now, you mentioned your student chapter service. So you actually served as president of the Concordia University student chapter, And later you were honored with the Judith Liebman Award, which is a pretty big deal for your service. What did being involved at that stage, early in your career, late in your career as a student, I guess, but what did that do for your understanding of leadership and community?
So it made me kind of understand the importance of community to build anything, not just business or whatever. It's essential to understand how you all connect, understanding that connection, that relationship, the things that we have in common that we want to learn or want to improve on, etc. I was not only the president of it, I co-founded it. So it was 4 of us. There wasn't any chapter there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it actually extended beyond just Concordia. So we had the Montreal OR student chapter. So I also learned a lot about how do I get buy-in from other people who I don't have in my immediate circle. Talk to different university figures and authorities to be able to make because you have shared budget and everything. So I learned how to kind of navigate that path. So it was a very good learning experience. A lot of soft skills got developed during that time. And I think that's also important, and that's helped me a lot during my career. I mean, it's important to know the analytics and the theory and the technology, but soft skills also make a huge difference. And I don't think that's talked about enough. And this experience provided that.
Absolutely. We are talking more and more about soft skills. We know that's a gap for people, but it sounds like that experience would be valuable no matter what career you went into, really.
Exactly.
So many people that we talk to are active as student members, as you were, but then they kind of drift away as they begin their career. What was it that kept you involved?
So I still read a lot of the journals. Informs has great flagship journals like Operations Research, Management Science. I'm still involved in that. I still review occasionally for some of the journals as well. So that's also kept me active. And recently, I found out your secrets. So I found out about the Roundtable, which was something during the first 8 years of being an Informs member, I was oblivious to completely.
Yeah.
And it is a hugely valuable community, I would label it as. A lot of knowledge sharing, which is, again, lifelong learner.
Right.
So it's super valuable, and it's interesting to see the perspectives of different companies and how they operate. So that has definitely motivated me to still stay involved and get my company buy-in to still be a part of the roundtable. And also I love the effort that's been put into the CAP program. I have access to the early stages of the training, and it's essentially the way I see that is it's really kind of putting in a framework what you would have to have learned in the field. So it saves you a lot of those growing pains, a lot of that frustration I had to go through at some point. So if you're really looking to accelerate your career, it's a great tool. It's a great program to be a part of and kind of jumpstart your career.
Framework and a roadmap.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
A way of thinking.
And it's again goes back to like the soft skills and the things that aren't really covered in university. It tells you like the framing. It teaches you about the framing and the business framing and the analytics framing. It keeps those two separate, which I think is a great thing as well, because that's in practice how you should do it. So it really helps you cover the first mile of when you're building an analytics project, as well as the last mile, because they talk about monitoring, deployment, and validation. So it's covers a lot of things that we just don't get at the university.
One thing that really stuck with me as I talk to members is the idea of defining the problem correctly and making sure you're solving the right problem.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's for me, you always start these projects by trying to find the right problem.
Yeah.
Like we've been trained to answer. We've not really been trained to look for a problem and to dig in and keep asking questions. And I think the framework itself, also other people talk about this as well, there's a lot of value in asking the right questions.
Absolutely. That is so true. Now you currently work at FICO, senior pre-sales consultant. What is your work like day-to-day basis? How does analytics show up in that?
So I am pre-sales at FICO for FICO Express Optimization, which is an optimization solver. My day-to-day is talking to clients and prospects, trying to understand what their problems are and trying to find the right match for it. So my company, FICO, apart from Express, we also build full-on solutions. Sometimes they're pre-built, sometimes we make them custom. And so it really is, the role is pre-sales consultant, and there's a lot of consulting going on because you're trying to understand what the real problem is. Again, like what we're talking about, trying to find what the real problem is, how value is measured, etc. And so that's kind of my day-to-day, doing that consulting, trying to understand what their problem is, why it's a problem, how they're going to measure it, and how we can help.
Gotcha. Again, the soft skills.
Yep.
Very important.
Very important, yeah.
What is the most rewarding thing you've done in your career so far?
Definitely helping other people land a job. We're not taught the soft skills necessarily from university, and sometimes, unfortunately, those play a critical role in people landing jobs. So I've coached a few people who have had this issue and had a hard time finding a job. And so I've helped them, help their CV, fix their CV, do better in the interviews, teaching them the STAR methodology to respond. And yeah, one of them is actually in a high position right now at a company that he landed in. And so that's what really is satisfying for me.
Yeah, that's so gratifying. It's wonderful to watch people that you help succeed.
Yeah.
So here at the Analytics Conference, the Analytics Plus Conference, you've been to that before, I think a couple of times. And for members who are primarily practitioners or in industry, what do you think is the value of this conference for them?
It's really about expanding your scope and understanding how analytics plays a role in different parts of organization in different domains. What I like about this particular analytics conference, so I was in the committee, so I also did influence it to have things that I liked. We cover a lot of stuff in terms of the last mile of optimization of application development. And so talking about deployment, organizational structure, ownership. A lot of these things are covered in different sessions of the analytics program. Right. So it really helps you, again, cover the part of your job that isn't taught at university necessarily.
Right. Well, it's great to be on the committee and have that power to influence it.
I don't know if I have power, but I put in the work. Yeah, I put in the work to get the right people in. So
yeah, we really depend on volunteers at Informs, and everything we do is with member input and volunteer input, and we appreciate that. Yeah. As you look forward to the next phase of your career, what's next for you? What are you most excited to explore, both in your work and also in this community? Yeah,
that's a great question. Again, I'm not a great person for career advice. I don't I haven't planned out my career. I actually did the jump. So I'm a pre-sales now, but if you look at my trajectory, I started off as a data scientist, then became a research scientist at Amazon, and then an applied scientist at Amazon, and now pre-sales. So I've kind of gone somewhat all over the place because now I'm in a more salesy role. Moving forward, I think where the wind is kind of taking me right now is further into sales to understand, how we can leverage analytics and optimization, essentially understand how the framework of how we solve analytical problems can translate into a sales management problem. Okay. And so that's something I think I'll be exploring, but we'll see. I don't know. Again, I'm not a planner in terms of career. I just go with the flow. So far, it's worked pretty decently, so I can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question.
Yeah.
Do you have any interesting hobbies, hidden talents, or just what do you like to do in your free time when you're not working?
So I have a 5-year-old, and he's the light of my life. And so a lot of how I spend my free time is with him. One of the fun things I did also for the conference is he likes this thing called Loteria Mexicana. So it's a bingo, but it's a pictorial bingo. So you have pictures of different things.
Oh, cool.
So he really liked that. And so what I did is I want to use that to teach him is the alphabet. So his mom's an illustrator, so she drew the letters in a really funny way, like all painted and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I built some software that would put that in like a bingo, like would place randomly what those pictures were. So we had our own bingo set to play with. So I did it for the alphabet. I did it with the Power Rangers. He loved Power Rangers. Wow. Put different characters there. And so, yeah, that's one of the interesting hobbies that came out of it, spending time with him, making personalized bingos for him.
Wow, I would call that a hidden talent. That's pretty cool.
So, yeah. Just had a lot of
Nice.
time and found something he liked and I liked as well.
Yeah, and helping him learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Carlos, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. We really appreciate you being here today.
No, thank you for having me.
And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.